Karl's dead.
He wrote letters. He wrote one to you. He asked you to stop. He asked me to stop. He asked us for peace.
How did he die? Was it us? Was it the grenades?
Fire.
It wasn't you. Karl went out to help someone. And he got bit.
Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys.
Hey guys, today we're here to give a review of The Lost and Plunderers, Episode 10 of The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. And as you can hear, Josh sounds so manly today.
Yeah. Sorry guys, I do feel like shit, but I'm here to bring you content because that's what we do.
That's what we do, guys. So,
and I'm wearing a sweater because
it's cold.
I'm cold. So I have a fever, and I'm going to pass it to him.
Oh, God. Anyway, guys, an amazing episode. I loved how they did the different chapters.
I did
Six
too.
chapters.
Didn't it throw you off in the beginning?
It threw me off in the beginning. I messaged him. I was like, why does it say Michonne? And then it said Negan. I was like, oh, I get it now. So, chapter 1, Michonne.
Yeah, so we open up with the aftermath of the loss of Karl. Sad altogether.
Not much dialogue between Rick and Michonne. It was very quiet. Rick was they were both at the grave. Rick thought about leaving Karl's gun, but decided to keep it. And
An homage to Shane.
Yep.
For those of you that are not comic book fans and don't want to be spoiled, turn it off. But I think it's already known since Shane is dead in the show. But there is a comic book scene where Lori, Rick, and little Karl are standing in the background, and in the forefront is a stick that looks exactly like the Karl grave.
Yeah, the rope that tied the cross together is like in the middle, is exactly the same way. And even Robert Kirkman said that, we paid homage to him. So.
Yeah, and hanging on the cross, instead of the silencer for Karl, was Shane's policeman hat.
Hat, yeah.
It was really cool to see that.
Yep, and Kirkman said, we like to throw little things in there every once in a while, so good for people to pay attention and check that stuff out. So.
Yeah, definitely.
We do get to see Michonne is looking at the devastation of Alexandria. Everything's on fire. A bunch of walkers are coming, walking around. We do see Rick taking a walkie-talkie off of a dead savior.
Yep.
And Rick and Michonne are preparing to leave. And I love this part of, Michonne tries to save a memory of Karl. Was it a gazebo that he used to sit on?
Yeah.
And it was on fire.
I loved that too. At first I thought it was one, I couldn't remember. I thought it was something like that Michonne was saying, hey, let's save this because you and I used to sit up there. Completely spaced that it was something Karl did. And I thought that was a really nice addition to the episode. It was great.
They tried to save it. They couldn't because all the walkers kept coming to them. But
they put so much damn lacquer on that thing.
Yeah, they did. So they do leave, and as they're driving away, Michonne does reveal to Rick. She asked him, hey, do you want to read what Karl wrote? And Rick's like, not right now, I can't. Yeah. And as she's looking through the letter, she finds that he wrote one to Negan. And she was very surprised.
That was an oh shit moment for me. Like when I seen that, I'm like, oh man, he didn't. He wrote Negan a letter.
Yeah.
Cool twist. Really cool twist.
Really cool. And does.
Well, yeah. And I hate to go into this, but I'll say it. But we'll go into it deeper further on in the video, but we asked ourselves in our predictions video, if you haven't seen that, check it out, how is Rick going to initiate the conversation with the walkie? Mm-hmm. And he used that. Now we'll get more in depth about that, but
I think you were right, because you were right that said Rick will initiate first. I was like, I don't know if he'll do that, but turns out you were right. So so Rick does say that he wants to go to Jadis, he wants to go to the Heasters. He says that, look, even though that he says they're ours. Yeah. They're with us. We still need them. And so Rick and Michonne head there. They go through the trailer. They open it up. There was a trap that kind of was set, and we see that all the Heapsters have turned. And we won't find out why until a little bit later, but they all have turned. So we were right from those promo photos that we the trailer that we showed that they shot. That all the
and I think a lot of people were. That was kind of an easy one to see, but
right.
We cut to Negan next, and
chapter 2.
I mean, I thought that we were going to jump around in the timeline, but it turns out we didn't.
Nope. It stayed pretty consistent, and Negan and this was interesting. This was a heated conversation between Negan and Simon. You can tell those two are starting to butt heads because, Negan's on the walkie-talkie saying, hey, let's just, talking to some other guys out there saying, Rick has, made his way out. He tells Simon Rick and crew made his way out. He was very impressed by Karl because he thought Karl was talking to him as a distraction for them to get out. He's
He thought Karl played him.
Yeah, he thought Karl played. He was like, man, that kid, he's awesome in a sense. Like, he's just so sweet.
Yeah, so, and this pisses Simon off because Simon considers himself obviously Negan's right-hand man. He is Negan's right-hand man, but he feels like he should go out and wipe everyone out. The Hilltop, Alexandria, and the Kingdom, everyone, just wipe them out. And he's pissed because he wants to go do that. And Negan's telling him, no, I have a crew already looking for them.
Right.
But even so, we ain't going to wipe them out because people are an asset.
Right. Yeah, but Negan also mentions he hasn't heard back from Gavin yet, but I'm sure Gavin's fine. He can, deal with his own stuff. So Simon does ask, say, hey, if I'm not out looking for Rick, what do you want me doing? And so Negan sits down, tells him to sit down. And he says, the garbage people. And Simon immediately is like, yeah, let's go in there. Let's wipe them out because, they not really disobeyed us, but they jumped ship again. Let's wipe them out.
They triple-crossed them.
Right, they triple-crossed them. And Negan's like, look, I want you to listen to me, man. They are a resource still. And
we save people.
Exactly. They are a resource. He's like, so I want you to swallow what the heck is going on inside of you, and you're going to listen to me and do your job.
Yeah.
And
he said, I want you to deliver the standard message. Shoot one, save the rest.
And he stresses only one.
Yep.
Now,
you want to hear the...
I'll get into it
Do you want to go into the theory, or do you want me to go into the theory? Let's go into it now.
Let's go into it now.
But I'll give it to you.
Because you'll figure out full circle from later in the episode.
I'll start it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get Negan really stressing Simon. One person, Simon. Obviously there's some history there with Simon possibly going off and doing his own thing and not listening to direct orders from Negan.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oceanside.
Yep.
I firmly believe... Now, all of you who are watching who have seen the episode knows what Simon does later in the episode. I firmly believe that Oceanside was his first kind of test with Negan, that he disobeyed orders, that he killed every single man at Oceanside.
Yep.
I think he did that. And that's why Negan stresses only one.
Yeah, because look, there is a standard message. Yep. And, that's kill one, teach him a lesson, and save the rest. Yeah, so I don't think we'll ever get an answer to that.
Probably not.
But I'm in the same boat. I think it was most definitely Simon that killed Oceanside men.
And what I loved about close to the end of this conversation is Negan says to him, look, once I clip Rick, everything will be aces again. And Simon's like, it really doesn't feel that way lately. And it seems like Simon's losing faith in the overall plan, the overall mission, because things are starting to unravel, or he just can't go on out and do things the way that he wants to. He feels the Heapsters are not learning the lesson. He feels the Heapsters need to be taken out because, one, they're not learning the lesson. They're not going to get it. Yeah. And we should just expand and go out and find other communities.
Yeah.
And then we get the nice big box. Rolls in.
Yeah, this was awesome. So... in rolls a savior, a delivery from the Hilltop. Obviously, we know from previous episodes this was the savior that Maggie had assassinated, killed, and stuffed in a box. Wrote on the box, we have 38 more. Stand down. It arrives while they're in a meeting. Immediately, the savior gives Negan a nail gun to handle it, because you can hear the walker inside.
Yeah, he said it's fully charged.
It's not like it was a surprise.
No, it wasn't a surprise. He said it's fully charged, and Simon opens it up, they kill him, and they figure
They say
out
that's Dwayne or something.
Dwayne
like
or something,
that.
and Simon gets infuriated because he says, those are my men at the outpost. Those are all my guys. He's like, let's just freaking roll up to the hilltop and take them out again. And Negan and him kind of go at it again, and Negan's like, you will do your job.
You will do what you're told.
Yeah.
So
I understand Simon's, rush to want to avenge, but it's like, dude, you need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I would scream the line that Negan says, but I'm just not feeling up to it
He's
right
not
now.
feeling it.
But yeah, so it was really cool to see, because as soon as he yells at Simon cowers down.
Yeah, he does. He kind of puts his head down, puts his tail between his legs, and he's like, all right, I'm cool.
Yep.
For now. So, chapter 3, Enid, which was very interesting, and we got confirmation.
We were wrong.
Cindy's grandmother, Natanya, is dead.
Dead.
She got killed.
That is a doornail.
And they are trying. Cindy is now in charge, and the others are kind of they're holding Enid and Aaron, but they really want them to kill them for revenge of killing Natanya. And Cindy is charged with making that decision, and Enid's kind of reflecting on that a little bit.
Yeah, Enid. So, I must say, excuse me, I must say this is the only part of the episode I didn't really like, because Enid's like, your grandmother basically signed her own death warrant. She snuck up on us.
Right.
She's like,
yeah. As she was sitting there with Aaron, she's kind of...
I get it, but you rolled up on a camp at night.
Right.
Like, what do you expect?
She was kind of basically saying, when she was sitting there at first when they all left the room to Aaron, because Aaron thought that she was getting upset like they weren't going to make it out of it. And she's like, no, it's not that. It's... She didn't give me a choice, basically. She's like saying, I'd do it again. She's protecting herself, protecting Aaron, but I could have went without that part, but I understood kind of what she was getting at. And
I would have been more happy with the grandmother surviving. Yeah. But obviously on her deathbed, struggling to stay alive, and maybe them still working with them to get them to unite and fight the battle. Yeah. Which is the whole purpose of Enid and Aaron being there. Yeah, and so Cindy comes back in with the rest of the crew, and they're like, look, let's just kill him, take him out. Enid kind of plures with Cindy. She's like, look, if you kill us, what is it going to do? Make you feel better? What if our people come back? You might take them out, but then eventually they're going to come back with more and wipe you out. Again. And taunting her, threatening her.
Her. Well, she's kind of saying... I can't remember the line that she gave. It was really good. We
will wipe you out.
Not that, but it was kind of like, in a way, killing is not the answer. I mean, she kind of did say, let us go. We'll go back out there and fight them and let you hide still. Yeah. She was kind of saying death is the... Oh, I can't remember the line. It was really good. But she was kind of saying killing somebody else, like killing is not the way, in a sense. But we'll keep going out and fighting the saviors. You can stay here and hide, do whatever you want to do. Yeah. And Cindy's like, well, our contribution is we are fighting. We're letting you go free. That's our contribution. So they lead them away and say, Cindy says, don't ever come back. Never come back here. Aaron does decide to stay. But he says to her that he's not going to go back there. It's like he's going to hide.
Yeah, he kind of cowers down into the tree and hides towards the end. And you kind of wonder, is he going to just...
overwatch them?
Just watch them and maybe sneak in just to get to Sydney alone, because he knows that because he even said to Enid, or maybe even talk to the two other girls. Right. Because he even says to Enid, look, I've almost had them ready to fight. They were ready to fight when we took their guns. I think I can get them in the right direction.
Yeah, I think the one short-haired one, that's kind of her right-hand lady now, whatever you want to say. So. Yep. That was an interesting chapter, not bad. I probably could have went without it, but it kind of helped fill some gaps. What's going on? Yeah. So, one of the big ones.
Brutal.
Chapter 4, Simon. And we get some interesting stuff in here. So Simon heads to the Heapsters.
This was kind of comedic. Because the way Simon was taunting them.
You know who it reminds you of?
Trevor. From Grand Theft Auto,
because he has the mustache, and I loved when he was like, "Bullshit!"
Bullshit!
got that face like Trevor does, man.
But he's also like, I'm not really feeling an apology.
Yeah.
You know, like, or remorse.
Yeah, so he gets there and he's, talking with Jadis, and he's like, look, you guys caught a break. Negan gives you a deal. He's like, you give us an apology, you show remorse, all will be forgiven, but we're going to take your guns, and whenever the Saviors feel that you need your guns back,
Dumb move.
we'll give them back to you.
Dumb move. She should have saw that coming.
Her right-hand lady, I forgot her name, kind of says, this is BS, don't do this, but Jadis
agrees.
Jadis does agree, they give their guns away.
Yeah, the whole thing with that is, I think Simon knew going in that he was going to do what he did.
Oh, yeah. Regardless, yeah.
First of all, Jadis lied to him. He asked for a full confession, and she lied. Maybe if she wouldn't have lied, maybe their people would have still been alive.
Yeah.
But he basically gives the order. He kills 2 of them first.
Well, I got to backtrack because there was a really good piece of information that we got from here. So Simon, asks about, like, he sees the painting, and he's like, oh, about this. And he asked Jadis, so why the dump? Like, why did you choose this place?
Yeah, I missed probably the most important small detail.
Yeah, like, why did you choose this place to live? And Jadis says, this is ours. This is ours. And he asks about, so what about the helipad and the helipad and the solar panels in the back? He's like, what was this place before? And Jadis says to him, a dump, a junkyard. And this was the most interesting part, is Simon says to her, I want to know if you know. So it's like Simon knows something's up, that he knows the truth about this place. And this also possibly confirms that the scene where Rick saw the helicopter, the first time Rick was on the trash pad, and people were thinking, well, that was a bird or that was a plane that flew by. That was the helicopter. So why is the helicopter associated with the Heapsters? It's one big mystery that I don't think we'll ever find out.
We may not. And so my theory was, and I'll probably repeat this in the predictions video, but it's a pretty big weapon. If it's fully loaded, if it's a military-style helicopter, if they still have ammo left, that could possibly swing the war in the way that Rick wants it.
Right.
Maybe Jadis saves the day at a particular moment during the battle.
Yeah. So getting back to now, Simon is wanting an apology and doesn't feel the remorse. He shoots the one gentleman.
The taller gentleman.
Frankenstein-looking dude. And she turns to him and says, there is remorse. Then he turns the gun on her first lady, basically. And she actually punches Simon and yells at his face.
Jadis does.
Yeah, Jadis does. There is remorse. And this is where get another version of Trevor. He's like, oh, no. He starts freaking out. And, he gives the order to the Saviors, and they wipe them out. All of them except Jadis in front of her eyes. Man. And then Simon makes his way back to the sanctuary. He's kind of looking at the one dude all the time, kind of like, you got the story straight, right? Negan says, how did everything... Negan actually tells him he hasn't heard from Gavin yet. And Simon tells him, everything went fine. Everything was good. Apology, gave the standard message, apologies were made, and we're fine.
Lied to the leader.
Lied to Negan, which was not good. And then we get told by a Savior that Rick is on the horn.
Yep. Rick is on the walkie-talkie, brings it to Negan. Negan walks off, and we cut to Rick.
The last chapter, chapter 6. So the end of this was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We don't cut to Rick. We cut to Jadis. Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're on chapter 5 now.
Yep.
So this was
cool
insane.
How they did that.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't just cut right into the next part of the story. They cut into pieces, right?
Yeah.
It was cool.
So we go to Jadis, and we get to see the end of when Rick and Michonne go in there. They're climbing on top of the trash to get away, and they see Jadis sitting on top. In her just kind of a white dress, gowned or whatever, just looking defeated. And we finally hear that Jadis can actually speak properly.
Yeah,
that her Heapster is just
She uses a couple of full sentences.
Yeah, she does. She can speak
she talks normally.
Yeah, she can talk normally.
Yeah.
I think it was just, their way of life.
Yep.
Maybe she brought in people who, were maybe part of the poor and they couldn't speak very well. So she kind of used that to maybe make them feel better or make them part of a new society, which she wanted. But she can actually speak properly. And she tells them their backstory, that she used to go there to look for pieces of art. She thought that this place was like her big, huge canvas. They loved the isolation. They thought that they could build a better world for themselves there, away from everyone else. This was even before the outbreak.
Yeah.
She started this before the outbreak. And then, of course, when the outbreak happened, they were just in their own little place.
Yep.
And
secluded from society.
Exactly. And so Rick blames Jadis. Rick tells her that, hey, look, this is your fault. In a sense, if you wouldn't have, one, double-crossed us, then double-crossed the Saviors, and then try to come back,
they probably would have. They wouldn't be there, obviously.
Exactly.
And they probably would have won the war against Negan almost immediately.
Yeah. And then Rick's like, I'm done with her. We got to get out of here. They make their way back through the way they came. Jadis wants to go with them. She's kind of down there, really close. Rick fires his gun above her head just to get the attention of the walkers. Mm-hmm. He's like, he's done with her.
Yeah.
Not that he wanted her dead. He just wanted to be done with her, and we'll find out some more later. But
so Jadis is getting chased by her own people.
Yeah.
And this was probably the most brutal scene.
Her plan was cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was.
It was very cool.
Yep. So she climbs up the junk pile, right? Or she stays on the same level, I think. Yeah, she
climbs up. She funnels them through.
Yeah, she's making noise, funneling them to a place where she can stand on one side. Mm-hmm. In between her and the walkers is a chain link rope, blocking them from going into what is going to be destroying them. And that is a massive automobile grinder, pretty much, or metal grinder.
It's a big industrial shredder, mulcher, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, it mulched.
She unhooked the chain, and of course, of all that noise and her standing right there, they just walked all right in at once. Well,
it was actually a really great scene. Obviously, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
But she's looking at each one of these people as they are falling in and obviously perish. They're already dead, but. Here's Rick telling her it's all your fault, and then she has to look at every face as
it's kind of you kind of see it's humanizing her in a sense, and
or breaking her
because you kind of see a sense of her losing herself. She's very calm, but you do see tears, but you also see kind of that blank look that sometimes we see from Rick, where you're going through so much trauma. You're trying to figure it out, but it's just not sinking in.
My reference.
Yeah, telephone Rick, yeah. It's just not sinking in. And that kind of how that ended her chapter, and she's just kind of don't know where we're gonna see Jadis in the future, but we'll get into in our predictions.
Yeah, we're actually gonna do a separate video on Jadis, so stay tuned. We'll be posting that soon. It'll be very interesting.
Yep. So now we get to the final chapter, which is Rick.
Yeah, so Rick and Michonne are leaving the Heapsters' junkyard, and basically tells them, Michonne, like, look, I wasn't trying to kill her. I was just trying, Jadis. Yep. I just shot over her head. I'm tired of her. I don't want to have anything to do with her.
Right.
Just trying to get her away from us.
And Michonne even mentioned, she was like, is this what Karl was talking about? Like, saving people?
Which we forgot to mention, I think, in the beginning when Rick and her were in the vehicle the first time. The same vehicle, by the way, that Karl takes when looking for gas and getting Sadiq.
Yeah. That van, the van.
But we forgot to mention that Rick is struggling with what Karl was talking about, because he turns to Michonne and says, what do you think he meant? Mm-hmm. So I just want to throw that in there.
No, for sure. And Rick, he's still contemplating. Is driving him crazy. Like, are we supposed to just not kill Negan? Are we supposed to just be happy everyone at once? And
he stops the car.
He struggles with it. He's like, I gotta take a minute. He has two notes. He has his own and he has Negan's, and the one that he reads first is Negan's. Now, if you go online and look, I'm sure it's on comicbook.com or somewhere.
We did.
They did find at least the first 4 paragraphs of what he wrote. But it's jumbled, like the way that he wrote it. It's not so much
jumbled, but the screen cuts it off.
Yeah. But somebody screen captured it and typed it up.
They typed up what they saw.
And the way that he wrote it was kind of weird. It's like as he was writing it, he kind of got a new thought, changed his mind, started writing again, new thought, changed his mind. But
well, he was dying.
Yeah, it was really good though. But then he gets on the walkie and he makes the call. He's like, "Get me Negan.
Get me Negan.
Who the hell is this?" It's Rick Grimes. He should have said mother effer, because I heard they are allowed to say the F word at least
once a season, I think.
Once or twice or whatever.
Or something like that.
They haven't used it yet, but I'm sure it will come. So Negan gets on the horn. He's like, "Rick, oh boy, why don't you tell me where you're at so I can see you face to face?" And I think you were right in the predictions. He does tell Negan that Karl is dead.
Yeah, he tells Negan that Karl is dead, and it was kind of a good scene too, because immediately, look, Karl has, Negan, whether you hate him or not, Negan actually adores Karl.
He does.
He has a special relationship with him.
He shows empathy, shows sorrow. He asks, the big question is how. He thought it was his own man. He thought it was the grenades coming in.
He apologizes for it.
He does apologize. He's like, was it our guys? Did we do this by the grenades? And this is where I loved when Rick was like, no, he died helping someone and he got bit.
Which then turns immediately to hating Negan again, because Negan sits there and blames Rick for Karl's death.
He blames Rick for Karl's death. He's like,
that was too much.
He's like, this is your fault because you can't let things go. Your decisions, I save people. Your decisions is what getting your people killed.
Which right at that moment, him and I both wanted Rick to say, "Oh, really? You save people?"
Yeah. We wanted him to tell him
because your guy just shot down the whole freaking Heapster crew.
Yeah, I can't wait till Negan finds out what Simon did. But yeah, it was just a lot of Negan ripping into Rick. And of course, Rick saying again, "I'm going to kill you. It's not going to be happy until I kill you." But I did like the part where Rick says, Karl wrote you a note. And in that note, he wants you to stop. He wants me to stop. He wants us to stop and have peace. And that's when he says, there won't be any peace. Actually, there will be peace when I kill you.
Yeah.
And even Negan says, look, he's like, you want to kill me? It's not going to happen. You're not going to kill me. It's just... And the way that we know it should go, he's not going to kill him.
No, but it's time for him to stop. I hope that's the last time he tells him that. No, it's not, because there is a scene where he somehow is in a dark, secluded tunnel and tells Negan it's time to die. Right.
So, I mean, that ended the episode. It kind of hung on I wouldn't say cliffhanger, but it ended basically right there of Negan saying, he asked him again, who's next? Who else is going to be someone that you love?
Yeah, who else
is going to die from the stupid choices that you made?
Yeah.
But it was
and
great.
then he says, "You are."
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, he says you are. But it was a great episode. I love the different chapters. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I loved it. I really did. I'm excited for the next episode. I really think that we're going to start getting into some more action here.
Yep.
But stay tuned for our predictions for the next episode, which is called Live or Die Or.
Yeah, Live or Die Or, I believe that's what it is. Yeah. So, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be an interesting episode. And let us know in the comments your thoughts of this episode and everything that you saw, and the cool shout out to Shane, the things about the Heapsters and the helipad and everything. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear it.
Definitely, guys. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more videos from NocBro Nation.
NocBro what?
I'm tired.
He's tired. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.